Hello everyone, welcome back to the second part of this presentation. In this second video, we will be going through the hands-on portion on how to successfully 3D print your object. We will be demoing a keychain. I will expose you to resources like Thingiverse and Tinkercad and how to navigate it successfully. And also some tips and tricks on how to use the slicing software called Cura. So once you learn all of these important resources, you will have the confidence to 3D print your object successfully and visit your library and use the 3D printing for its potential. So now let's dive into the second part of this tutorial. So Thingiverse is a website dedicated to sharing of user-created digital design files, providing primarily free, open-source hardware designs licensed under the GNU, which is the General Public License or Creative Commons licenses. So feel free to go to www.thingiverse.com to browse designs and get inspired on what you can create with 3D modeling software. Designs range up to trinkets, replacement parts, props, and much more. Let's navigate the website together so I can show you what I'm talking about. So I typed in www.thingiverse.com and you can browse many STL files ready to print. If you scroll down, you can see all the various designs that people have uploaded for free for you to download. If you can look in the columns, you can filter through newest or popular. You can browse through specific things like art, fashion, hobby, household items if you're just looking to browse. There's a lot of things to look at. If you're looking for something specific, you can type in a keyword. The keyword that I used here is cat if you want a cat design. And if you scroll down, you can take a look at all the various cat designs that people have uploaded for free. It's quite amazing, actually. I'm going to click on one. You can see the image there. You can see all of the likes and comments that it has got. You can see a summary of the print settings. So usually they put like recommended print settings. This is the file. So there's only one file, which is an STL file, which is exactly what we're looking for. And then you would download it. Once you download it, you'll see the STL file at the bottom left or on your desktop. Also, you can explore. There's education modules. You can create some stuff and upload it as well. So feel free to check out Tinkercad once you have time if you don't really feel like designing and just want to browse some cool designs that people have already made, and that's pretty much ready to print. Tinkercad is an online collection of software tools from Autodesk that enables complete beginners to create 3D models. This CAD software is based on constructive solid geometry, CSG, which allows users to create complex models by combining simpler objects together. In this hands-on portion, I will briefly describe the work plane. By being familiar with the interface, you will be able to create your models at ease. We will learn how to move objects onto the work plane, combine objects, align objects, and basic navigation settings of Tinkercad. So I hope you enjoy. As a demonstration, we will be making a simple keychain with your name on it. So right now we will go to www.tinkercad.com. This is what the home page looks like. As you can see, it's fast and easy to use, and there are a lot of tabs. If you scroll down, it'll kind of introduce you to the Tinkercad interface. If you click over here on gallery, you can see all the other designs that people have made using Tinkercad. So even though Tinkercad is for a beginner and it's pretty basic, you can actually make some pretty sophisticated designs once you are familiar with how to use all of its functions. If you go down as well, you can see many different blogs or what people are writing about Tinkercad and how they use it in the classroom setting, in a teaching setting. If you click over here, you can see the learn, teaching opportunities, but you want to sign in and make an account. I will log in using my Gmail, but feel free to use any other way that makes you most comfortable. So as you can see, I logged in using my Gmail account. This is my profile. You can make 3D designs, circuits, code blocks. Right now in this module, we will be focusing on 3D design. As you can see my past designs here that are already saved. But right now we're going to make a fresh new design so I can show you how to operate the interface. So as you can see, this is your work plane. You can see the view cube over there. You can click and drag to view in different perspectives. That's the home view. This is the fit all view. You can zoom in and zoom out with the plus and minus. You can change sort of the perspective view as well. But yeah, that's basically how you view and navigate sort of the work plane. These are your basic shapes where you'll essentially click, drop, and drag onto the work plane. But there are several different options as well. It's not just basic shapes, but you can look at creatures and tools and connectors as sort of default shapes that Tinkercad already has made available for you. But for the keychain demo, we will only be focusing on the basic shapes. But as you can see, you can add notes, there are rulers, and yeah. So for the keychain, you want to drag your box, and you can kind of change the dimensions by clicking on the gray scale, the gray color boxes, which are nodes. The top little arrow there, you can move the object up and down. And again, you want to use the view cube. Once you click on the object, you can change the radius, you can change the length, you can change the width. So those are options as well if you don't feel like using the boxes. But I like to use the little nodes. So I'm going to flatten the object. As you can see, the rectangle is flat. If you hold shift, you can change everything in a uniform fashion as well. But that is your option. So I made it into a flat rectangle right now. You also have the option to change the color just to see it in different colors. You can duplicate objects, you can copy objects, but we're not going to do that today. And also delete from up top. Or you can click on the object and click delete. So now the next step is to add a sort of text. I will move it there. As you can see over here, you can erase text and put on your name. So my name is Michelle, so that's what I'll do. And you can change the height from there. You can change a bunch of settings right there. Or you can manually adjust it with the nodes, which I will be doing right now. So I'm holding perfect. It's a little finicky at first, but you can always Control Z to undo as well if you find that works best for you. But yeah, just play around with the nodes, make sure that it fits exactly how you want it. You can move items using the arrow key as well, but take your time since this is your first time 3D printing and 3D designing. So I'm going to move my name on top of the flat rectangle that we made previously. Adjust it to how I see fit. I'm going to shrink it down. I'm going to move it up using the top arrow there. And as you can see, it's to my satisfaction. So now I'm going to use the punching the hole function. So if it has dark gray and light gray lines through it, that means you're punching a hole through an object. So I'm just going to scale down this cylinder, which is a hole, and combine it with my keychain. So I'm shrinking it down to how I see fit. You can shrink it down however you want it to. Again, holding shift while you move it will shrink everything down in a uniform fashion. So I'm just going to move it to the top left. Perfect. And I'm just going to puncture it all the way down so that there's a hole in both sides of the keychain. So once you have an object pretty much ready to go, you want to highlight the whole thing by clicking and dragging. And then what's important is that there is a group function. You want to click that so that everything is one solid object. Once you do that, it's one solid object. It's grouped everything together. So instead of having 3 separate pieces on top of each other, you have 3 pieces together. If you don't like it grouped, you can also ungroup and then move the objects again to how you like it. Perfect. So now that it's grouped, you can move everything. It is one solid object. It's important to mention that once you group everything, it'll be ready to save. And you can also adjust the dimension even though it's all grouped together. Perfect. So I'm happy with this item. I'm ready to export it. Make sure you save it to an STL. Once you save it to an STL, it'll be downloaded at the bottom left corner there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you can change the object's name. So I'll just put Michelle Keychain. So you save your project and that is the name of the project. So I'm going to press enter. I'm going to export it again and put STL. And now it's saved as Michelle Keychain STL. Once you have finished the design, make sure you save the file as an STL. An STL, stereolithography, is a file in a format that describes surface geometry of a 3D object without any color, texture, or any other attributes. Students aren't expected to know this portion, but it would be helpful to know how Cura works and how to properly size your 3D model, just for your understanding. If you have any questions or concerns, staff and faculty should be able to help you in the Cura portion. Once you have the STL file, you must import that same STL onto a software called Cura. Remember, Cura is a 3D slicing software that converts the STL file into specific instructions that your 3D printer will understand. The file conversion is called a G-code. So essentially, Cura converts your STL file into a G-code. So right now, I will teach you how to navigate through Cura. As you can see, that is the view cube. If you click onto the cubes at the bottom left, you can see that is your work plane that I'm circling around. And that is the original STL, the keychain that we just made. I am going to drag and drop so it's on Cura. And as you can see, the keychain is on the software. I am currently not using a mouse, so if you have a mouse, that would be totally better. Because right now I'm using the keypad on the laptop, so it's a little bit harder to move the screen. But as you can see, the keychain is on the work plane. And I am moving it around. So as you can see, if you click on the object, You can move it left or right by clicking on the red arrow or the green arrow once it is highlighted and it is on the top left. If you go on the bottom, you can change the scale of the object. So I scaled it down to 50%. So it shrunk it up to 50%. You can shrink it up to 70. You can expand it up to 200. And if it's check marked on uniform scaling, that means everything will move in a uniform fashion. The one below it means that you can rotate the object, wait until the lines are highlighted. So once the red is highlighted, you can move it. Once the green is highlighted, you can move it in that angle as well. So that is how you rotate the object. And these are other functions that I don't typically use, so I wouldn't worry about it as a beginner. Usually the top 3 is what you use most, that are the most important. So as you can see, you can lay the object flat. If that is easier to print, you can reset all of the movements that you've already created as well. And that is your object. Again, moving it around in the view cube. Perfect. As you can see in the top right corner, you can change sort of the dimensions. So like, let's say the shell quality, which is the outside of the object. Your infill is how heavy you want your object to be or how hollow. You can change the percentage. Supports if your object has any overhang, but thankfully for a keychain, you don't have any overhang. So it'll be a simple print. Built adhesion is also important as well. The layers, you can control how fine the layers you want. Extra fine means extra detailed, normal means not as detailed. So that's also an important function to take a look at. And once you're done converting it to all the settings that you want to press slice. And once you slice, it'll give you an estimate how long the print will be. And this one will be 1 hour and 24 minutes. Once you're done, you save the file onto an SD card or import it onto the cloud and send it to the printer, and it's ready to print. And as you can see, this function shows how it would be printed layer by layer, kind of doing like a time skip, how it would be printed on the 3D printer. There you go. You want to save that file once you're happy with the print job. Here are some helpful tips when navigating Cura. So if you have a lower layer height, it means better quality and longer print times. If you have a higher layer height, that means the rougher the quality and the shorter the print times. Higher infill means a stronger build and longer print times. Lower infill means weaker build and shorter print times. So for faster print jobs, if you're crunching for time, would be to lower the infill, so to make the object more hollow rather than more dense. Scale down the object, so maybe your object doesn't have to be so big. You can shrink it up to 50% or so. And also printing on the flattest base of the object. You don't want to print at the bottom layer to be the most complicated. So the flatter and simpler the object, the better it would be to print. This chart represents the pricing model for your 3D printed object. Please contact Miss Margaret Vale if you have any questions with regarding of the price. These are some examples of some other models you can print using our Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect printer, and here are the price ranges for each of the print. Lastly, it's important to mention that academic prints will take priority over non-academic prints, so please be mindful when using the printer. And this concludes our Intro to 3D Printing tutorial. I hope you all learned something new and that you will use the 3D printer more often now. If you have any questions, please contact Miss Margaret Val. She is here to help you, and enjoy your new 3D printer at your local library. Have a good day.